Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a declutter, but this is going to be a little bit different than normal. Instead of by category, this is stuff that I've already been saving to throw away, which sounds weird to say. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you anything that I am showing is going to be thrown away. A lot of it is going to be because it's so old or whatnot. So this entire video is all items that I am already getting rid of or giving up on. So as we go through, I will tell you what is what. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, starting off here, this is the ColourPop. This is a Super Shock in Tang. And honestly, the reason I'm just getting rid of this one is it's super old. So that's really the only reason. You can see it's kind of dried up, come away from the edges. So yeah. This is from Pop, and this is actually brand new, but I just don't ever see myself using this. I guess I could give this one away, so maybe I will do that, but I'm not going to be using it. So I will go ahead and hold on to that one then to give away. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Whew, mouthful. You can just see that it's starting to separate here. I actually really love these, and I use them for contouring and all kinds of stuff. But you can see here that the shelf life is 12 months. This is the color Sand. Sometimes this was darker for me, so I would use this for contouring. But honestly, I just have so many, and I can't get through them all. And it's been a long time that this one has been open, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it. This is Fiona Styles. You can't even get this anymore. This was the light medium sheer sculpting palette. Really nice powders, but the truth is you can't even get this anymore. So that's how old it is. I got it on super sale at Ulta at one point when they were clearancing out everything 75% off when the brand was leaving, and it was fine. I do love the purple, because I do love purple, but honestly, I don't need this. All right, this was a MAC pigment. I believe this might have even been a sample, and truthfully, MAC pigments don't really go bad in my opinion, but it's just really, really messy, and I just don't see myself reaching for this a lot, so I'm gonna let this one go. This is from Julep. This actually came from a friend, but honestly, I never use this one. And even I'm sure it is pretty. I've got a million probably like this. From Bare Minerals, this is a loose eyeshadow. I just don't ever see myself going into a loose powder eyeshadow, same kind of thing with the pigment that was just here. So I'm gonna go ahead and lose this one. It's also very messy, so I'm just gonna toss it. This is from ColourPop. I got this during a sale. This color is just too deep for me, honestly. There's nothing wrong with it. I could try and give it away. It might be more trouble than it's worth, though, to try and give this one away. But it is pretty untouched, so I guess I could look into that, I suppose. This is the NARS Laguna. I just have a sample of it, and honestly, I have a full-size one of this, and I don't need this. And this one is super old. It's before they redid their packaging, so I'm going to go ahead and toss this one. All right, same with this Bare Minerals with the I just don't do loose ones. This was really great. This was in an Ipsy bag before, and it's really, really beautiful and such a cute packs a punch type of eyeshadow duo, but I just have so many and I don't need one more, but this one was really good. This from Essence, I don't feel like I even played with very much. These are individual shadows. They're very velvety. They're so beautiful. I'm not going to get into swatching everything, but I just have others that I can use. This is like practically brand new, so it pains me, but we're getting rid of it. This Pure palette, honestly, it's just too deep for me. And so I tried to use it as like eyeshadows. I tried to use it, but like it's just not worth holding onto when I have so many other palettes I could use. So it's fine to get rid of this one. Okay, pretty much everything from Pretty Vulgar that I've tried, I haven't been crazy about, and the packaging is just overly bulky for no reason. I have a million blushes and bronzers that I like better than these, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of them. Similarly, almost everything that I've tried from Seraphine Botanicals, I have not liked, with the exception of one single, I don't know why it's trying to do that focus, one single type of lip gloss. So I'm going to get rid of this. This is a concealer collection. Honestly, I just don't think I'm smart enough for this, to be truthful. There it is. I'm not smart enough to do this. It's a shame. It's pretty much practically brand new, but I also have the RCMA type of palette, so I don't feel the need to hold on to it either. All right, here is another color of the Born This Way. This is also in a deeper color. I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this one, super old, because I got it around the same time as the other one. This is a blush palette, a cream one from Tarte. And even though I could probably still use this, honestly, it's just so old. It's probably not safe to keep using this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. This is the Bobbi Brown. I got this one a long time ago. Here's the deal. It came with these 3 separate little, what are they? Gel eyeliners in here. And truth be told, if I had used the gel eyeliners when they were in their prime, it would be more worth it for me, but I didn't. They dried up. Plus, these colors are easily found in lots of other palettes these days. And this palette is pretty thick, so it takes up a lot of room in the drawer, so it's finally time to get rid of it. It's kind of a bummer because that one was fairly expensive at the time. Oops, I made a mess. We're all just gonna have to live with it. Okay, I got this BoxyCharm March of 2019. I started at one point trying to label my makeup. So there's nothing wrong with it, but truth be told, I have plenty of other palettes that I like better than Morphe. So I just don't feel the need to use this. I haven't used it honestly in a very long time, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. Okay, I don't know if you can tell a difference, but I was trying to use some fancy software, and now I'm just gonna go back to recording on my phone because I just don't think it was worth it. This is the Lovecraft palette. It was a bronzer palette, and this came from BoxyCharm. Nothing necessarily wrong with it. I like how thin and compact it is. Honestly, I've just got other bronzers that I'm gonna use that I like better. I don't need to hold on to this. Again, with a pretty vulgar type of, oh, I had a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. So I'm just gonna get rid of all of those. This is the Quench and Tint. I just found this one to be a little bit thick. It's supposed to be a foundation, but it's kind of lotiony, but I just found it to be a little not what I wanted. I felt like this one made my skin look older, which is exactly what you don't want. So that one had to go. These two I was keeping for this, like, oh yeah, full face of elf type of video, which I never made. And then it had like a bronzer blusher type of thing going on. And what I found out is you can kind of push out these little pans. So I thought it maybe mixing and matching, and then you can see I dented some. And then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I have bronzers and blushes that I like better. I don't need to hold on to this, either of them. They're super old. So I went ahead and let them go. All right. So here is a varietal of all these kinds of lip products. Honestly, some of it happened because I opened up one and there was mold. So I took a whole bunch of them that were purchased around the same time and I got rid of all of them. So, and then this, even though it is unopened, I got this one, I know, like 4 years ago. So I'm gonna let it go. This one was one of my favorite Urban Decay, the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in black. But I tried to swatch it the other day and it was just super dried out. So I was like, okay, it's time to let it go. So, and then here is a lash glue. I do not like this from Tarte. Every time I used it, I did not like this. So if you're looking for a lash glue, I do not recommend this one from Tarte. This is the Full Cover Perfect Finish Concealer, again from Fiona Styles, but that brand is no longer available, or at least where you can get it like at Ulta. I believe you can still get it on her own website. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Trying to go through these quickly, so you probably won't get swatches of everything, but there are a couple of these foundations. This one's just really old. I know it had like an expiration date of like 2019 or something like that, or 9/2020. So I just knew, you know, it's a little too long to be holding on to that. I have never liked the Anastasia liquid lipstick formula, so you may see a couple of them in here. I think a couple were gift with purchase or something like that. I don't like these. They're way too drying. The Make No Mistake, honestly, it's a good price. It's not super expensive. It's not too bad, but I've got others that I like just a lot better, so I didn't find a reason to hold on to this. These are a couple of liquid lipsticks or lip glosses, just super old. The reason I got rid of this one is because with it side by side, it was just too, or not too much or not enough of either way. So not enough as a blush, not quite good enough as a highlighter, which is a shame to say because Pixie makes some of the best highlighters. It was just weird to have it in a combination like this. It didn't work for me. This was the Dew Pot and Illuminator. This just got all dried out and I didn't want to continue using it, so that was time to go. The Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe. This one's not bad. Like it way better than the Tarte. A couple of these Instamatte. This is an interesting idea. You can take any lipstick and put this on and makes it a little bit more matte. It was just super duper old. The Stila, honestly, these are drying too. I used to really like this formula. Then I discovered others like the Ofra one that were just better. And these are super duper old. This one I know is super duper old because it's from Ofra in their previous packaging. And then some expired stuff I never got around to. I have duplicates of this Galactic kind of lip gloss that's pearlescent, which I don't tend to do a lot. This Stila is a smudge stick and it's fine, but it's just old and dried out. So it's time to let it go. This liquid lipstick, super old, from MGS, smells like vanilla cake. It was good. It wasn't too drying. This one from Kula, I like the idea of it. I feel like it got really mineralized and gross. You can kind of see it there. You see it was growing stuff. So it's time to let that go. The IT Brow Pow, I feel like they say it's universal. I found it just wasn't the right color. And when they have a universal one, you just can't fix that if it doesn't work. The Too Faced lip injections, I don't really like these. Plus this color was really good, not good for me. So this is Spice Girl. Another that I never even opened, but I never got around to it, but it's like 4 years old. The Superstar, I think it just dried out before I even got a chance to use it. The CoverGirl was okay, not fantastic. This Cargo was an eyeshadow duo. I never used it because I just found it inconvenient in the little. I know it's not, and it was probably a good little something to go. I never used it, and it's been like 6 years. This concealer, I just feel like looks gross, and I didn't want to try and mix it or use it, so I was just like, you know what, just let it go. This was a great idea in theory. It was Tarte, where it has like a gloss and lipstick, and I just never got around to it, but it was all separating on this side, so I was like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that. The blush and bronzer duo, I think it's interesting that they put them in here. They're so close together, they're so small, it's just not worth it. This was, again, the lip injection. I don't like this. It's too stingy. This is the fat marker one, right? I don't like this one because it's just too big. Yeah, I like a felt tip. I love these from Tarte. You can see, oop, it left the top. Well, there you go. It's still stuck in there, but these little pencils, they're kind of great. The only reason I'm getting rid of this is because I have others and they're bigger, and I really like the Buxom Plump Gloss, whatever it is. This just wasn't the right color for me, and so I really enjoy a lot of the products from Laura Mercier. They're so beautiful, but this just was too light for me. I really enjoyed these. These are the Intense Butter Glosses. It's super old. This was actually, as a mascara primer, fine. I enjoyed that it was black instead of white, because I feel like no matter how hard you try sometimes with primers, when they're white, sometimes it feels like you miss something. This Morphe concealer was just, I think, 1, too drying, and 2, too dark for me. The CoverGirl was a little bit pinkish, so I didn't, and it was super old. This e.l.f. one, I wanted to like it, but it's also all separating, and I never got around to using it, and it was just a little too dark for me. This Becca foundation, I thought, oh, maybe I could use it as a bronzer. Obviously, this is too dark for me. I got sent it in a BoxyCharm as my choice. I don't know what they were thinking. I've taken quizzes. Honestly, it's just not worth it for me to use it as a bronzer or something, or a darkener, so I just gotta let it go. More of those Incredibles, and this was really pretty at the time, but you can see how separating and gross it kind of is. The Thrive, I never actually got around to using this one. What's weird is the light and then like the light medium. I feel like the light medium is actually lighter than the light. And I was sent it as a sample. This is the Melted Latex. I actually like this formula better than some of but you can just see it's kind of gross. I like it better than some of the liquid lipsticks out there, but this does tend to feel a little bit thick and goopy on the lips. which isn't exactly my jam. Here's the Grande primer. Like I said, this is all white, and you can see how separating and gross it is. Never even got around to using it before it expired. This one's kind of fun, the melted latex, but it was in kind of like the unicorn holographic type of color. So it was kind of fun, like a purple blue shift. This Morphe banana powder, I don't use banana powder. So this, I think there's an Ofra one. I just get rid of them both. The Incredible, and this is, what is this? The matte lip click. I didn't use this one, but I got rid of everything that came in around the same time. This is the cut crease canvas, and I don't even think I got around to using this. Oh, weird. Okay, or I don't want to use it. That looks weird, and it looks like gray now, so. Okay, so this is from e.l.f., and this is the Rose Water, I believe. And I really like this one. I just shattered the end one, so I just bought it again because it was only like $3. And this one also had a chunk taken out of it, so pretty enough to repurchase, getting rid of the broken one. The e.l.f., I wanted to like this, and it said that I think it was waterproof. Is that right? Maybe not. I just felt like it smeared. It smeared a lot. It wasn't worth keeping. A couple of these old packaging for Ofra. So I know it's old. This is really old, the Kylie and Coco collection, which is a really old. Really, just everything is really old here, honestly. When it comes to most of the lip products, that's why I'm getting rid of almost all of them, is because I opened one, like I said, and there was mold in it, and I was like, that was enough for me to be like, almost everything that came in before then, it was all wanting to go. This eyebrow gel is kind of like thick and clumpy, so it's just not what I'm looking for in an eyebrow gel. I prefer one that has like a spoolie instead of this. Super old, super old, super old, super old, super old. So all of these are just old. This one is just old and dried up. The Cella, this brow gel is completely gunky, you can see. So no, thank you. Actually new to me, but I only wore it a couple times. I did not like it at all because it transferred on me, which is rare. And it just transferred too much. So it didn't matter how much I wanted to use it or like it, this had to go. The Melted, these are actually really great, and they have like a little sponge tip, which if you can get past how gross it is to have that and keep putting it on your lips, the colors are really pretty. This one is just super old. The Smashbox, this was liquid lipstick mini palette. I honestly never used this. The Intense Eye Color, there are several eye colors that I do love. This one is just gunky now and dried up. This is the Smith & Colt, and this is a liquid lipstick, which looks pretty gross, honestly. So this is from Note. I have not found too many things from that brand that I have loved, if I'm being honest. This was just a lip gloss that didn't really impress me. This is a highlighter from Morphe, which some of them feel like nice and powdery and velvety. This one just feels like dry. So this is Champagne Nights Pressed Pigment. I did not like this. Just super old, but a very pretty color. The color I really, really like. Super old, like 3 years old, which is just way too old for something like that. This is actually, I know that this is like 5-6 years old because I think I wore this on my wedding day as like a top gloss. And so that's how old this is. I don't know if I got around to trying some of these, the color changing ones, but I just know that, like I said, I opened a few around this time that had mold, so everything went, including these lipsticks or lippy sticks. The Bella Pierre, it's another one of those holographic type of glosses. I got it in Glossy Box, didn't really care for it that much. The Bodyography, it's just really, really dry. The Katy Kat gloss, this was CoverGirl when Katy Perry did that type of thing together with them. I just felt like you never got enough gloss. You always had to go in multiple times, and I didn't like that. This is old packaging from Ofra, old, or maybe this is the color I wore, but they came together. So it's like 5 years old. This is not a color that I'm going to wear. Look how separated that is. This is the Beauty Drops, like the gold ones, and they're okay, but I feel like it's just gunky and it never quite fully, is as pretty as you want it to be. Tried to use it as eyeshadow and mix it in as a highlighter. It just wasn't great. Fierce Flicks. This one I like from Ciate. Has a nice little felt tip there. I like it. Or marker tip. This one from Too Faced, I actually like it. It's a honey bunny, but it's just gross and old and sticky. This was, is this Julep? No, Lorac. They have a beautiful gloss formula, but I got it January 2019, so it's a long time for a lip gloss to be hanging around. The NYX Lingerie, these are really pretty, just old. I feel like I didn't have this that long, but it just separated and never really looked as good as it did in the beginning, so I was gonna let it go. This is the Innisfree mineral powder. I honestly didn't use this a lot, and I feel kind of bad about it. I feel like it wasn't bad, it wasn't spectacular enough for me to keep using it. The Smashbox, this was fine, not fantastic. This is at least 6 years old as a stick, and I don't need to keep it. This jelly, you can see how separated it is, and it's a kind of putty highlighter or something like that from e.l.f. And I didn't really enjoy it that much. These are old. These are just all old. This is like 5 or 6 years old as well. This was the lip mousse from Absolute. This one is actually fairly nice. It's just 6 or 7 years old. This is the Peter Tom Straw. I got this as a sample, never even used it. This color was just too dark for me, and this one is the color Single from Fenty. Or actually, it's not that it's, I just didn't like it. I didn't like this particular color on me. This is a palette that came from BoxyCharm, and it was Wander Beauty. I like Wander Beauty products. The problem is so much wasted space in here. I just felt like it's just taking up too much space, and I have other blushes and bronzers from them, so I don't need to keep that. The Cover FX, I love this powder. However, I have 2 of them, so I figured I would throw out the oldest one and just open the new one. This is the Perfect Setting Powder. Really nice powder, and it has the nice little sifter for when you're traveling, so you don't spill it, which is nice. So there's that. Some more, again, of those incredible, the Melted Latex. Again, I do like those. This is the old formula for Ofra, old for ColourPop. This I used in my first YouTube video, I think, when I was talking about repressing stuff. It was like 6 years ago, so it's gotta go. This is lash adhesive. It's not really very good at all, from Sephora. This is the Bye Bye Problem, but I think it cracked and broke, and this is just a reminder telling me that this is kind of like empty or throwing it away and not to get it. Again, this is Note. I don't really like much from Note. This was a cute little thing that I got. I remember Rain Cosmetics, maybe something like that, but it's like 7 years old. It's gotta go. This is the Scene from Space highlighter. I didn't really like this one, and this was from Space Case Cosmetics. And honestly, it came in like a pack of 4, so I just kept the other 3 colors and tossed this one. This is a sample of a Clinique powder. I did not find it to be special. Oh, this was the Glow Recipe Pineapple Bright Serum. This stunk right away. I did not enjoy this. It was sticky, and I got it in 2019. It's been sitting in this box for a while, but like I did not like this even at the very beginning. So disappointing for me because I like Glow Recipe, but this was not it. And you can see how like brown it turned. All right, another of the Butter Gloss. You can see the Smashbox, how separated it is. These were the balm. These are super drying. It came in a whole little set, and I think one of them also had mold. They all had to go. Old packaging from Ofra. I do really like the Ofra formula. If you're looking for a formula, it is drying, but not as bad as others. I never even tried this one. This was the Tinted Brow Gel. I think it was like fine, but I don't like the applicator because it's too thick. And I really want something like a Gimme Brow, which has the tiny little brush. Again, more of the Intense Butter Glosses. This is Cargo, I think. This one was fine, nothing to write home about. This is the Born This Way Concealer. This one is fine, but I prefer the Born This Way, the other one, the thicker one that I got rid of earlier, the thick one. Pretty Vulgar. I do not like pretty much anything from Pretty Vulgar, and this is way too deep. If they still make this, get your hands on it. I love this. This was the cushion. They had a highlight, they had a foundation, and they had a bronzer. And these were so great. They were super natural, and you could kind of, oh, I broke it. They had a little puff if you're into the type of cushion stuff. Super easy to blend out. This was a lip gloss from Sephora. It would like change color. You can see it's discolored and gross, but I did enjoy that at the time. This is gross and old from Lorac, but Lorac has a beautiful formula on their eyeshadows. This little trio, so pretty. This was the, what is it, 1430 pocket? I don't know, but man, gorgeous. Some of this stuff, look at it. It's so gross. But I remember liking this foundation. This is the Exuviance Cover Blend Skin Caring Foundation. I did a Foundation Friday on it many years ago. I actually like the foundation. This blush from e.l.f., I think it's kind of trying to be a lighter version of the NARS Orgasm. It's good, not just for on a budget. It's just good, but I have a million blushes. Don't need this one. The Lancome Tinty Doll. I like this one. It is heavier on the coverage and it feels heavier on your face, but it is nice. This is just several years old and needs to go. Super old Ofras. I never got this one. It was too thick. I didn't understand it. This one smells like paint. Everyone loved it. I thought it was just okay, but I just didn't want to deal with the paint smell. And so that was it. The Duo, the dark tone, I like it. It works, and that's most of the time what I end up using, although now I use the one with the brush. The Lumi, the True Match, this is a beautiful foundation. I really enjoy this one, but not as much as the True Match. The True Match is just, it's so pretty, so I need to remember my color here. Buff Beige N4. This one is really, really nice. So this, I only wish that this had a pump at the top. But this one is good. This one is better. The Lime and Define Dual Dimension Eyeliner in brown. This one, it's just too thick. But the kohl that was on the other side, I loved it so much. I took it out and I keep that one. So I love that it had both the kohl and the type of marker. I just didn't like the marker side. This is a little tiny Smashbox one. I always forget about it. This is one of the lip injections. I don't like it. This is the Infallible Total Cover. These are okay. They're heavier and it's more like whipped, but I prefer that True Match from before. File this under packaging that still drives me crazy. And who's really using these brushes? I forgot that it's even still in there. But because really, like, how thin and beautiful it could be if you just had this, you know, without all of this. So nobody wants your brush. This was okay. I found after a while, it just was hard to get the color off of it. So I just didn't want to work that hard for it. So I'm letting that one go. So love this foundation. I feel like it could be in an empty. I'd gotten sent a new one that was my actual color. This is tan neutral. It's way too deep for me, but oh, I love this foundation. It's one of my favorites. This lip liner from the Tarte, it's just super old. This eyeliner kind of dried out, or I just didn't like it. And more of the lip injections. More Incredible. This was a cute product. It's a cushion lip pen again. So you push down on the end. It's more of a lip stain. It's kind of a cute idea. I liked it. This was the Makeup Forever HD, the original one. This is Y325. It's way too dark for me. I think I repurchased in a lighter color. This was the Marc Jacobs, way old, way separated, too light for me. This is 22 Bisque. This one is neat, super concentrated. It has a lot of pigment in it, so you don't need, I feel like, as much of it, but just a nice foundation, but you got to know what you're getting yourself into. A tiny of the Duo. The Kat Von D. This was Bow and Arrow, or yeah. This was, I mean, it's a good color. I understand why people liked it. It's just really old. This is the new lash. I think it was a sample. I never even got around to trying it. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay BB Tinted Moisturizer. I actually kind of like this one. I wished I had used more of it before it had like pretty much expired and gone bad, because I'd had it for multiple years. But I kind of like this one. I find that my tastes have changed over the years, so stuff I didn't like before, now I like more because of my preference changing. This is the Luminous Finish, also Fiona Styles again. One thing I hate about this foundation is there's only one way to put on the lid correctly. Otherwise, you just sit there and spin it. Ugh, this one was too bright for me, or too light for me. There was a luminous and there was also a matte finish. I preferred the matte finish, and yeah, I did not like the lid. This was the Smashbox little trio that I always forgot that I had. The compartments are too small to actually get a brush in. This lip primer, I didn't use this. You were supposed to use it so maybe your lip liner wouldn't go running off your face. Never did. This I got from a cosmetic company at a dinner, and I remember it's just too thick and chunky on this particular type of glitter. I wanted to like it. It was just too much. This e.l.f. gel, no, it just dried out. I didn't like it though. This is this Warmth? Let's see here. Oh no, this was the powder blush from Bare Minerals. Again, just the loose stuff. It's just too much effort. Primer Potion, I feel like everyone had this. I think I have another one of it, so it's good. Super old of the Tarte lipstick. Theirs is fairly nice too. Like I said, the MGS is fine. The Creme Shop, I don't think I ever used this one. I don't even know. Oh, I think I just opened it and smelled it, and it was a mascara, and it was just way off. Wander Beauty. Oh, these are so cute, but I knew that I wasn't going to use this particular color. I love how small it is. It's perfect to throw in your bag. This is a liquid lipstick. It was just okay. It wasn't anything to write home about. More of the Incredible. More of these little brow pens with like the three little, it's just dried out. Super old on this one. All right. e.l.f. again on this one. I didn't like it. I wore this one 4 or 5 years ago. It's a super dark, old packaging, Napa Valley for Ofra. Really old, really old. All of these just really old. Highlighter, not in my color. Brow gel, that was just kind of okay and dried out though and gross. Chapstick, it had these dark colors, which was nice. This one was too dark though. This one was a waterproof liquid eyeliner. It would just dried out. I kind of enjoyed this little guy because of how tiny the wand was. So this one was the brow ink, but I feel like this one had too long of a spoolie, but I kind of enjoyed that. It should have been half that length. This was a brow crayon, which I don't typically use, so that's why I got rid of that. The Melted Matte, it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. Super old. This from Bite, good idea in theory. I just never really got on with it, and I should have, but I just didn't. So there was more of a matte side and a glossy side, and two different in one. Again, from Note, they have nothing that I really like. This was an eyeliner in blue. Didn't like that either. The tinted eye primer, it was just too dark. This one is too drying, and I think the one that was the Pro one, I didn't like that one. It was too glowy. I know, I want it just right. This one is great, just not my color. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, it's great. It was just expired. These lipsticks from a brand that doesn't exist anymore, and it looked kind of gross, so that was time to go. You saw what happened to the other Coola product. I doubt this one is any better, so yeah. Oh, it's pretty. It's just super old. Super old. Oh, I don't like the Anastasia. Super old. All right, if they're glitter and glows, oh, Kitten Karma, this one is one of my favorites. These are beautiful. The only thing is it just dried out. You can see. Oh, I would totally buy this again. I would totally get it again. Really old packaging. I do really like these, so if you're into the melteds, These are nice. They do get kind of gross though because they have that sponge tip. Really old. So I'm getting rid of the Sweet Peach, but not really, because I liked it so much that I just went out and I actually purchased another one. And it's because this one is like 6 years old. And so I figured it's getting dangerous to put that on your eyes. So I just bought a new one. Hopefully I'll end up using it. This is a palette when everyone was private labeling them, honestly, just like Morphe was doing. So I don't feel the need to hold on to this particular one. I've got plenty of these colors, so it's time to let that go. Look at how gross this is. Look at how gross and separated it is. Although I never really heard anyone say that they really got on with this one, but I did like the packaging and how like thin it was. There's that. This was just way too old and dried out. So that's time to go. There we go. The Sephora one, this was not great. Incredible's just really old. This one's really old. All right, the Dior Air Flash, I have another of it, so it's nice. I think I have actually decided, though, that after a while, it gets oily on me. This is the Meet Matte Hue, super drying on theirs. The e.l.f., it's only like $6, but it's just not that great. I know some people love it. I did not. This is the Fenty one. I do like this one. I know people said that you really had to work with it fast. I think if you're well moisturized underneath, you should be fine. Because I think sometimes the new version that they have that's hydrating is almost too hydrating. I was never going to use this. I think I got given it as a gift. A rainbow highlighter like this. Like for a while that was rage. I never did it. Super old. I do like these types of eyeliners because you can twist and then you can sharpen it at the same time. But the problem is that it just dried out. Again, with the double-sided, I just never got around to using it, but kind of a cool idea to have the lipstick and gloss together. I had one of the blush palettes from Morphe, which made it through a declutter, but honestly, I haven't touched it. And not only did I not touch it, I have tons of other blushes I like better. This is the 35N from Morphe. Again, I have a ton of other palettes and ones that I like better. Oh, and something broke, so it's a good time to let it go. Oh, now I have a desk mess. I got a mess. Oh, well, it's gonna be messy for the rest of the video. This is the Ka-Brow. I do like this, but I have other brow things that I use, and actually some from Benefit. Another of the primer potion. The Beauty Amplifier, it's supposed to like go on before like a primer, but I never ended up using it. These were for Ambrosia. These just dried out. This one was cute and left a nice tint, just was like super old. Beauty Gems, I got this from Ulta, super cheap. It feels super cheap. It is super cheap. The Infallible paints, these are pretty. I don't even know if they still make these, but they were drying, so you had to definitely go in there and make sure you were hydrated under or over. It's kind of fun. Primer, I never even used. It just went bad. Here we go. Fiona Styles, they don't make it anymore. This is actually really, really lovely. It just expired. It was the Miracle Skin Transformer Pure Reflection, and this one was in medium. I did a Foundation Friday. I actually like this. It had a wonderful smell. The Becca, this is way too drying, way too opaque, and full coverage. I didn't like it. The Revlon I did like. This is the Age Defying in Tender Beige. I would repurchase this, but I believe they reformulated it and it's not the same. So I think that one may not be around anymore. Again, with Matte and Poreless, I really, really like this one. I think they just don't make... Nope, they still make this one. I could repurchase that one. The Insta Ready, I never heard anyone talk about this from Physicians Formula, even though I had like a lighter color. This was dark and it just like looked thick and cakey. I did not like it. Again, with Physicians Formula, I had another of those. I don't like these and their packaging. This was the Aesthetica brush. It was just because I have a very loose handle with brush bristles or whatnot. So I ended up liking the brush enough that I purchased another one from like Boxy Pop-Up. So that's why I'm tossing that old one. Professional, I just have a million of them. The 24/7, just too old. The Busy Gal, too wet, and so it just always got messy. Really old from Incredibles. Here we go. This is the Warmth Bronzer. I don't do a lot of the loose ones. The e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. I thought I would like it and have it be like the MAC Paint Pot. It was not. It's too dry. I never understood this one, the Dolce Candy. They all looked pretty similar. Of most of the palettes that from Pixie Pretties at that time, this one was probably honestly one of my least favorite ones, even though all of these powders kind of pretty nice, but not nice enough to keep the whole palette. Kypress, I did not like this. This was a BoxyCharm like exclusive. It wasn't that great. The Marc Jacobs was nice. It got separated, had a nice smell, but just expired before I could use it. This just expired before I could use it. This is a full coverage concealer. You can thin it out with like moisturizer and have kind of like a tinted moisturizer or, you know, fairly medium foundation. I would enjoy it that way. This is the Fiona Styles matte finish. So you saw the one that was the other, which was the Luminous. The matte was really nice. Number 2, again, is too light for me. Milani Conceal and Perfect. I know a lot of people like this. I thought it was a little thick and cakey. So for me, I did not enjoy it that much. Really super old. Lash glue that like came with eye lure. It's not worth using. Way before lip oils were like really popular, Clarins had sent out some of these as an example. It was supposed to say it got a nice color, but it just smeared everywhere. I'm finally giving up on these Swamp Queen, even though it's kind of pretty. Some of these colors you can find in other palettes. This was, you know, a nice palette, but it's also just 5 or 6 years old. I don't, it's a lot. It's really old, so. Really old. I never got to use this. This one was a liquid foundation that was just a little like too not blendy, so I didn't like that. Marc Jacobs, this just dried out. This shattered. This I already have in a larger size, so I didn't feel the need to keep the baby. This one, DLS, another brand, just like Note. I don't think I've tried much from them that I've enjoyed, honestly. Not to be mean, but them, Seraphine Botanicals, DLS, Note, I haven't really tried much from any of those that I like. This is from Lily Lashes. This one just dried out. I had another of it. I do enjoy this one. This is a XXX mascara. This was the gel eye primer, and it just went bad before I could use it. This maybe was the wrong color, and so I got more of it, and I do enjoy the Nude Illusion. This is the Your Skin But Better CC, and even though it's light, you can see how much it darkened, and it was fine, but this is like 5 years old. This was the Laneige BB Cushion. I enjoyed it, and I think I repurchased. This was supposed to be a cheek and lip type of thing. I didn't want to do that. It was too dry. This was the Derma E Sun Protection Mineral Powder, and I like the idea in theory, but it was always hard to get the brush back on, or you weren't always sure if the powder was coming out, and if it did, it got messy. I don't know if you can see it, it's flying everywhere. So that was the problem with it. That was a problem for me anyway. And then you'd be like, oh, can I get the lid back on? Maybe. I like the idea of being able to reapply the mineral SPF, but I don't know. In practice, This was stupid on my part. I bought this really expensive lotion, face lotion, night lotion. Really expensive, and I don't know if I can say that it was, well, I can say it definitely was not worth it. So there's that. Putty type of blush, kind of pretty, but honestly, there's a lot of others that I could use. This was a foundation or kind of like cover, but it was just too dark. This Pop Beauty one, it just smeared a lot, so I didn't want to use that one. The Smashbox has, it was a primer, but it was like super radiant, and I have like the Becca ones that I could use instead. This is another of that type of blush. This is a brush that I got that for a while I used, but now there are ones from Sigma that I like better that are a little wider and thinner. This is just an empty, really old. I think, is this the Wow Brow? This I actually did kind of like. It has like little fibers on it, so it's okay. It's not like fantastic, but I did kind of like it. This one I don't have an opinion on anymore. Pretty sure I did not like it at the time though. This is the lash adhesive in the black color. You can see how gross and gunky it is. I think the black one though was better than the clear Bella Pierre. Just a color I was never going to use. The sole, I think this is Touch and Sole. Yeah, just double-ended, and I was never going to use this lipstick with these kind of like metallic finishes. The Click Stick, I hated this. I did not like it. So for anyone who's using like that Touche Éclat type of pen foundation, like this had no coverage. So I just did not like this. This was one of my favorite reds, and it dried down really well. So again, from MGS, this was a good one. This is part of that bunny collection with the Swamp Queen in that dark kind of purple gray. This was an airplane sample that they gave you for your little package when you're up in first class. So that was kind of fun. This is from Rimmel. This was their like eyeliner. It wasn't fantastic. Whew, holy crap. I think we did it. I think we did it, y'all. So this, I don't know if you can see, this entire thing is full now. That's how much we got rid of. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.